Hello everyone! Okay, so we've got another YouTube video for you as part of Cafe. Last semester you seemed to really like it, so we thought we would try it again. Today you're going to be listening to me reading 6 different things, and after each thing that I read, I'm going to ask you a few questions about trying to find either the main idea of what I read, the main words, maybe something, how you interpreted something. So I think there will be 4 questions after each story or text. Okay? So the best thing about this to remember is that if you need to listen to the story or the text again, you can pause, go back and listen. Okay? Also, if it's going too fast for you, just hit stop so you can have a think, because Miss Lockwood and I are going to be looking for those answers that are really thoughtful. Sometimes they need to be in a sentence. Sometimes it's just yes or no, and I'll make sure that I tell you what we're expecting to see. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a knight. He was a tall man with brown hair and had shining silver armour. One day he was walking through the enchanting forest and saw something that looked a little bit odd. He walked closer to it, and suddenly he realised it was a troll. It was making such a peculiar sound. Was it crying? Could he be dangerous? He decided that he wanted to see if he was okay. Suddenly, the troll jumped up and blew sparkling powder into the knight's eyes. For a moment he couldn't see, but then he started glowing. You now have the power to control people's minds. Since you showed me such kindness, I spent my last bit of magic dust on you, explained the troll. The knight felt so happy that he went back to town, stopped all the bad guys from committing crimes, like stealing bread, and they all lived happily ever after. Okay, so now that you've listened to the text, I'm going to ask you the 4 questions. First, I will say them here, and then I will show them on a slide so you can read them as well. Okay? Question number 1. What type of text is this? Number 2. What are some other words that you could use to describe the knight and the troll? Question number 3. What is the moral of this story? And number 4. What do you think could happen next? Going to school. Going to school is a waste of time. Childhood is too important a time to spend in school. In the first place, no one asks children if they want to go. Since they spend so much time in school, it's only fair that they should be consulted. Secondly, very little of what they learn is useful. By the time children grow up and are earning a living, they will have forgotten most of what they have learnt in school. Finally, experts admit that children learn more by doing things rather than sitting and listening. Children would learn more just by going outside and getting on with their lives. And they're all the reasons why kids should absolutely not have to go to school. Okay, question number 1. What type of text is this? Question number 2. What are some words in this text that you will only really see in this type of text? Number 3, what is the main argument? And number 4, do you agree? Hi 3B and E and D and L. It sounds as though you've all had a fantastic holiday. There was a good mix of people travelling overseas or interstate, and some of you staying at home. I had a wonderful break. Not surprisingly, I went to lots of cafes and drank lots of coffee. I also managed to go overseas, where I stayed in a beach hut, and I went snorkeling, although I got super sunburnt. Did any of you do some outdoor activities? If so, what were they? I love playing sport and being active. Speaking of which, are you really excited about the swimming carnival that's coming up later this year? Which event do you think you'll do? I look forward to hearing from you. See you later, Miss Barrett. Okay, it's quite obvious that that was a letter. So, question number 1, did I include some of the features of a letter? And if I did, what were they? Number 2, what was the main thing I was talking about in this letter? Number 3, what are the areas of this letter that you need to respond to? And number 4, can you please respond to them? Sitting at the top of the marine food chain, sharks are the majestic creatures of the sea, surrounded by myth and misconception and a striking fear into many due to their often negative media coverage and movie portrayals. Although it is understandable that many would prefer not to come face to face with a shark, attacks on humans are extremely rare, and they are much more scared of us than we could ever be of them. Shark levels in actual fact are declining and are amongst the most threatened marine vertebrates on Earth, with some species facing extinction. Sadly, many of the threats they face are a result of humans and include recreational fishing, shark finning, habitat loss, pollution, and bycatching. Question number 1. What is this information report about? Question number 2. What are some words in there that you don't know? And could you maybe have a guess at what they might mean? Question number 3. What are the reasons for sharks becoming extinct? And question number 4. Did you learn something new in this information report about sharks? The king and the queen are trapped in the moat. A dragon is spitting out flames. Princess Belinda is charging the beast to rescue little Prince James. At our beach, at our magic beach, we search in the clear warm pools, peering at starfish, limpets and crabs, and tiny fish darting in schools. A leather-bound chest with buckles of brass lies tossed on the sand by the tide. As we push back the lid, we are dazzled by light from the glittering treasure inside. It's starting to get dark outside, so I need to film this nice and quickly. I've just read you a couple of passages from Alison McCall's The Magic Beach, and I would like you to pick one or all of them, and in your book, on the next page, on the next clear page, I want you to draw the most detailed picture that you can. Now, at the beginning of the year, we asked you to do this, and some people were kind of like, I don't really know what to do. But now I want you to listen. Even if you close your eyes and you listen to what I'm saying, I want you to put as much detail on that page as you can. So if you hear a word and you go, I know what that is, make sure you put that on the page. I want colourful. Only use coloured pencils, please. And very quietly, just sit down and draw as much detail as you can. I lied a little bit in my introduction. There are only going to be 5 texts. So you've come to the end now. What I want you to do is you need to proofread everything that you've written and maybe even drawn, okay? For some of those questions, actually for most of them, I expect, and Miss Lockwood expects there to be sentences. So if you've just written no, or if you've just written yes, or maybe you've written one answer, I want you to go back and I want you to rewrite them. Okay, we're almost in grade 4 now, so we expect full sentences with lots of detail. Okay, we will ask you to do it again if not. Okay, so if you need to listen to this video again, or if you need to rewrite your entire thing, please do it, because that's the level of detail we expect. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this activity. Make sure that you finish everything, proofread, capital letters, full stops, lots of detail. If you think you've done that, then you've completed this activity well.